all have skulls, but we don't always know how to draw them. Let's do that here on My Sketchy Habit. Hello, my name's Patrick, I'm an artist, and this is My Sketchy Habit, where we draw every day, and we don't have to be ashamed, because we're art positive. We have an art positive community. You can join down below, join the Doodle crew, join the Discord, share your art. Don't forget we have an art gallery, we'll check it out at the end. But for now, we're gonna draw some skulls. I'm gonna show you 3 ways to draw skulls. Let's get to the art. So we're drawing skulls today, and we're gonna do that by following a few simple methods. First of all, we're starting with teeth. We're gonna do a very simple skull with just the upper jaw, no lower jaw, and follow through. You can see I did one there, we're gonna do it again here. We draw the set of teeth that we want, and then we create this sort of line up from them to create a rectangle at the bottom. We draw 2 little triangles coming out the side, and then we make a circle along the top. This one's at a little bit more of an angle, so we only do 1 triangle out the side, and do our circle over to the triangle. It's nice and easy. It works real well for a skull. It's nothing too dramatic. You know, we're just drawing a few little lines here just to make it work. You can see we're trying again from the opposite angle this time. I think we're gonna draw some teeth, make our rectangle, add our triangles. As you can see, we've already got the impression of both triangles. One's a little bit smaller because we're a little bit more of an angle, but that's all right. And these are ultimately going to represent some very basic skulls that you can draw. We draw some teeth, draw some lines, draw 2 little triangle bits, draw a circle, and then create inside a triangle for the nose and shapes for the eyes. They're not the most elaborate skulls on earth, but they are pretty solid skulls, and they certainly make me happy. And I think they would work well in almost anything as an easy skull fill in. You can see here we're going to do a little bit more of a side profile once again. We don't even do too much of the triangle in the core shape of this one. Just really simple. It's game time, and that means it's time for us to play a game. We've been playing Pokemon Speed Draw, where I got a Pokemon and I drew it in 1 minute, and it's up to you to see if you can figure out what it is in the time that we have. Good luck. So skulls are incredibly difficult things to draw. And, you know, we did a very basic version of them in our previous section. We're going to go a little bit further this time by having a lower jaw to go with our skull. So you can see here, we start with our eyes, and we're going to sort of emphasize the upper cheekbone. And then we're going to create a lower jaw as well. And so you can see here, coming out of our upper cheekbone, just below it is going to be this piece for the jaw, which is going to hinge into it. And you can see we're making our teeth reasonably well. I think we add a little bit more shadow to separate them. And then of course we get that core head shape on top. And that's sort of the basics of what a skull could have to make it a skull with a lower jaw piece. It really is all about that hinge that's underneath the cheekbone. And we're going to try it again at a slightly different angle here. We're going to use bigger eyes and sort of weirder shapes to make a sort of cuter skull. But the concept is still the same. We've got our teeth, we've got our upper jaw, and underneath we draw the hinge and create our lower teeth for the skeleton, or for the skull. Bing, bang, boom, you got yourself a skull. This kind of drawing is really fun. I didn't come into this when I was drawing them with a particular plan of how I was going to teach this or show this. I was just going to draw a bunch. And so I did these little sets where we practiced the same thing over and over again. Here you can see we're doing a more narrow jaw, but it's the same concept. We're trying to build in this under jaw and these teeth so that, and this hinge point so that it looks like a skull. And it looks really good. But yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. And honestly, I don't always know what I'm doing when I'm drawing a thing, but I can practice it over and over again on a sheet like this and come up with something that I'm pretty proud of. I like a lot of the skulls we drew, even if I didn't know exactly what we're going to end up with. You can see with this one, I just decided to add a little bit more of those detailed lines. We're just following shapes when it comes to our detailed lines in these pictures. We're just trying to create the illusion of depth through lines. And so you can see we're making these straight lines where it's straight and slightly curved lines where it's slightly curved. We got another skull coming in here with a jaw. It's gonna look really good. We got the same sort of core idea, that semicircle with the 2 triangles. And of course we're gonna put our jaw hinge in there. Because of the angle, our jaw hinge is a little bit more exposed on the one side and not really exposed on the other. And that works out perfectly fine. It's just a matter of filling in the dark places properly. It's super fun, easy skull. Again, you know, it's about the repetition and the practice and the trying and seeing what works, right? Big eye, small eye, did that really work? Sort of, but not for everything when it comes to making skulls. Narrow head with pointy teeth, does that work? Maybe. You just never really know. We're going to practice a few more of these skulls. I want to remind you that we are, you know, an art positive community. We have a Discord. We'd love for you to join. We love to encourage people to draw, to make, to create, and we'd love to see you there. As we get our last skull for this section on, we took out a tooth. You don't have to have all the teeth on a skull. Certainly not an old skull removed from a body. And so, yeah, we're just playing around, messing around, having some fun. And ultimately, I think we got a good set of skulls here. We're going to do one more set after we do the dad joke, bad joke. It's time for the dad joke, bad joke. My dad sends me a joke every single day in WhatsApp. I collect them up so I can share them with you. And today we've got a skeleton joke. Why did the skeleton go to jail? Why did the skeleton go to jail? He was bad to the bone. Bad. Bad to the bone. That's right. Why did the skeleton go to jail? He was bad to the bone. The dad joke, bad joke. Let's get back to the art. So for this last set of skulls, I thought it would be fun to do skulls with eyeballs in them, right? To give them a little bit more personality, a little bit more variety to them, and to really push the core shapes, right? We sort of have figured out that we have this rectangular top jaw, these triangles, and this round shape. Now it's time for us to mess around with them. So you can see my bottom jaw, or my top jaw here, is curved. Makes for really fun, cool shapes. Really overemphasizes aspects of what makes it a skull. And of course we have those crazy eyes with the bags under them, which is, you know, very much my core style. But again, because we've been practicing all these little bits and pieces, we can now mess around with them and see what comes out of the process. So we're going to do a similar thing here, but the eyeballs are sort of sunken in a little bit more into the eye sockets. And so we have a bit of a weirder projection of them. We're also going to make some tiny little teeth and a tiny little jaw. I think we got an under jaw coming in here as well. We're just sort of matching up our teeth to our teeth in a way that works pretty well. I think maybe it looks like they're going to have a left side jaw. And that hinge is coming up real high on this one, so we got to sort of tuck it underneath. And just like that, we've got, you know, another weird shaped skull to make this exactly what it is. Yeah, I think one of the big things about this kind of work as an artist trying to learn to draw something is having fun with it, right? Not being too precious about what the end result looks like, not holding too fast to yourself about drawing perfection, and instead messing around with it. There are skulls on this page that I don't love, but I'll never tell. No, I mean, I will if you ask, but you know, it doesn't matter so much because they're not for anything except for me to learn, to practice, to grow. And of course I'm sharing them here, but that's okay. I don't mind sharing my proudest moments as well as my, you know, more difficult moments. This skull I decided to go in with a lot more wear and tear. As you can see, we're just sort of making these lines that go along to overemphasize the shapes and the roughness of this skull. It looks really fun and interesting. It might be a little bit of overkill, but hey, gotta try, right? I think we've arrived at our next skull. Yep, we're just starting it here. I think we're gonna go with tiny eyes, similarly surrounded by the darkness in the sockets, that is. And we're gonna give them this sort of under eye bag, which would not be possible if you didn't have flesh. This skull doesn't have flesh, but we're putting it in there because artistically it sort of works anyways. It allows us to create shapes for the eyes that are really fun and expressive. And that expressiveness really pays into the core shapes that we end up designing for this this skull. We're gonna give him his little side jaw here, and turns out really cute. A bit misshapen, but you know, that's part of the fun of drawing cartoony things. That they can be a little bit weird and they're still readable. And let's see what we got for our last skull here. Oh, second last skull, I think. We're gonna, go back to the basics of square jaw, square upper jaw, and triangular little point coming out the side, but with those same sort of googly weirdo eyes. Overly stressed, overly done, but real nice nonetheless. We've almost got a full page of skulls here. All we need to do is work on one more after this, and I think we've got them all. Here again, we're going to use a little bit darkness around the eyes to imply that they're inside the skull a little bit more, less poking out, more, inside in the mix. We're also going to be playing a little bit with, the shape of the jaw and the teeth, just to make things weird and wonderful, because the results from that can also be fun. Notice those lines coming down the center of the mouth, the detailed lines, they follow down from the nose sort of out. And that's sort of done in almost every case. We're sort of following these shapes that we make and the implications that they have within them. This is a really fun, weird skull. I don't know if it's for a person or some kind of animal creature, alien, but either way, we've got a whole bunch of skulls here. I can't wait to show you what they look like with a little bit of color. Let's check that out right about now. And that is it for our wonderful skulls. I really like how these guys turned out. They're all sort of fun and cute and weird. If you have a favorite, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you've drawn some, I would love to see your art. We have an art gallery where I would love to share your art. All you have to do is join the Discord down below. Join the Doodle Cruddle and show us what you can doodle do. We cannot wait to see your art. We'll put it here in the art gallery. For now, we do have a month-long sheet of inspiration, things that inspire you to draw, to make, to do every single day. And this month it's been costume season. Yesterday it was random and I drew a candle person. I'm not sure why I drew this. It was so random that when I came back to it now, I don't remember why I chose it. But hey, it's a cool little candle costume, super fun. We also have a new word for today. The word for today is lobster. I'd love to see what you come up with for costume season lobster. For now, we've arrived at the end of our video, which means I just want to say thanks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for choosing to support a small little channel here on the internet. I have a lot of fun making these videos. I hope you enjoy them. All that remains is for me to remind you the one rule of my sketchy habit, which is really our sketchy habit, which is this: don't tell anyone about our sketchy habit. That's between you and me. I think that's everything. So, till next time, keep being awesome. Bye.